There are two things you need to unlock ASAP in Final Fantasy Tactics. The first thing is JP Boost, the support ability. This should be a priority for all your characters, and it's usually tied to their base intro job that they come with. This will make all of your JP gained for every action be boosted, causing you to level up faster and unlock more abilities ASAP. The second ability is from the Chemist job. It's called Auto Potion. Auto Potion is one of the best early and mid-game abilities in Tactics. Equipping this makes it so that every time you endure damage, your character will automatically use a potion and heal themselves. It says they'll always use the lowest potency one, this way to not waste your inventory, but you can manipulate this by having the only healing potion be a higher level one, which you get pretty early on in Chapter 2. Money won't be a problem too long in this game, and early game potions are very cheap, costing 50 per each one. So you can get 99 of these for less than 5,000 gil immediately as you get to your first shop, which I recommend you do immediately. Later on, you can get rid of all of your lower end potions and instead use X potions or high potions for insane great heals automatically. The Chemist class is insanely good in this game and will be a regular in your party for a very long time, and you can even use them very well into the end game if you really wanted to, because the gun weapon that they unlock later on, in this version of the game at least, feels like it has the most insane range. I don't recall it ever being this crazy in the original. Can somebody in the chat please confirm? This is kind of nuts. You need to make sure you're using this ability in every battle early on. Bravery and Faith are stats that greatly benefit you, and you can permanently increase both of them. And the game doesn't exactly explain how it works, but first off, male characters typically have more bravery, and more bravery means dealing harder physical damage from knight swords, katanas, and fists. And also raises your chances of reaction skills activating, which is incredibly good. In Chapter 2, Ramza actually earns a skill called Steel, S-T-E-E-L. This is just like Preach, and can raise the bravery stat once per battle. And I recommend you increase his to 97, especially if you're going for the monk build. When you use this in a battle, it's going to raise your bravery in that battle by 5, but permanently after that, it's going to increase it by 1. So once you unlock Steel with Ramza at the start of Chapter 2, every single battle you enter, try to get into the habit of starting off with Steel on a character or yourself, just in case so you don't miss it, and build it up, because it will take about 20-something battles to get this into the 90s, as long as you're doing it once per battle. I typically like to do it as the battle starts and then wait for the enemies to come to me rather than moving all the way over there and wasting turns. Females typically have more Faith. Faith boosts the effectiveness of magic spells and can land missable spells like Revive more often. Having lower Faith, though, also makes you take less damage from magic, which is kind of funny because you can kind of be like, hey, I don't believe in magic, so therefore you can't hurt me at all. Literally, that's what they're doing. Faith also can be permanently increased one time per battle if you use the Preach ability, which you gain from the Orator class. Full disclaimer, you also never want your Faith to be over 97 either. Characters with over 97 Faith will opt to leave your party permanently, which is a pretty hilarious game mechanic that this even exists. Do not go higher than that. Guys, we are starting our Final Fantasy Tactics Platinum Trophy Run video today. We're going to be streaming it, so make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of those episodes. And we'll be making a big-time video for it, basically a Final Fantasy Tactics Platinum movie. We already did one for Final Fantasy VII Remake. You can find it right here on the channel. Please be sure to check that out and let me know what you guys think. One of the most satisfying things about Final Fantasy Tactics and how majority of longtime veterans and fans play this game is basically how you grind levels and reach endgame power in basically one fight. If you really wanted to, you could get to level 99 in the very first fight, but I do not recommend that at all. And I'll explain why. If you get the deluxe edition of the game, first of all, you can also make sure you claim this ring accessory. This boosts your overall gained XP and JP for the wearer, making leveling up a way faster process. Tactics is beloved by many for having valuable farming methods. I personally like this one, where you make your team trap the last enemy surviving in the middle, and you have a knight, for example, rend their speed multiple times, which lowers it, rend their power multiple times, also lowering that, and then rend their weapon, which destroys their weapon if they have one. This will make them only have one turn per every 30 turns and do virtually no damage to your team and be ultimately helpless, literally putting them in a circle and pushing them around. And now with everybody else in your party, you need to do an action, like throwing rocks at teammates, attacking teammates, or using items to heal the enemy to keep them alive to prolong this grind. You can do this very early on and get a lot done. There's so many different farming methods, and also there's no one true way to farm. Also, there are some jobs that can be a little bit tough to raise the JP levels on, simply because their actions require a lot more effort to execute them and sometimes can miss in battle. An easy way to just level this up is to equip that job, but also as a secondary stat, make sure they have rock throw or items. And instead of using the main ability to level it up, if you just use an item or if you throw a rock, it'll still give them JP towards the job that they have selected, giving you levels for it. This game is incredibly flexible. You could get a black mage and make them cast Toad to make the enemy helpless and not a threat too. But the main thing is you always want to do an action with a character at every turn. Whether that's healing, throwing rocks, or damaging teammates, especially since some classes like Archer can be annoying to level up. What I do is I put a crossbow on them and target a yellow square ahead of a teammate. This actually makes the archer shoot in front of them and hit whatever target is there. In this example, it's a teammate, and you'll still gain XP, you can heal your teammate, you don't damage the enemy, and you won't kill the enemy, and it's a very sneaky farming method. There's plenty of those in the game. You can also earn JP for different jobs than you have equipped. There are a few ways to earn job XP and JP other than performing abilities. It says in the game, firstly, if an allied unit performs an ability, all other allied units on the battlefield will earn a quarter of the job EXP and JP for the same job as the unit using that ability, which is why it's really good to have multiple different jobs available in your party, so this way you can benefit everybody. A quarter isn't that much, but over time it does build up and you'll see yourself reach into the thousands passively for JP for jobs that you weren't even equipped with. To make grinding easier, you can see just how much JP you get and the next level whenever it's coming up on the character nameplates at the bottom. You could also go into individual character status menus in the middle of battles to see just how much JP is needed for certain skills. So you know when you need to stop grinding and you can just move on. But remember the warning about grinding too much. You truly can get to level 99, which is extreme, but it comes with a risk. In regular map battles, if you're level 99, the enemies scale up to the highest level member in your party. So you can see very high level enemies in regular encounters, and they'll be tough as shit for your under-leveled team and other new party members that you're trying to get boosted up. For story battles, this doesn't actually affect with them. They actually don't scale up to your level and can be very easy to steamroll. If you ask me, I say just JP grind to get the exact jobs and skills that you want, and then move on to still be able to enjoy the game. Thankfully, this game does have a tactician hard mode, making fights way more difficult for those who want the challenge. I haven't beaten it yet, but I really do hope there is like an extreme mode on top of this after you beat the game, or a new game plus. That would be awesome. Now, which classes should you unlock first? I'm going to make a best early game to mid game build video in more detail, but I say for now, aim for Monk, Ninja, Black Mage with Flare, and Time Mage. Monks literally break the game and are probably my favorite class in all of Final Fantasy, and it's a no-brainer for me in this one. And we have tons of fun videos for you guys coming soon, because the Arithmetic class is no joke once you set it up properly and can wipe the entire field in hilarious overpowered fashion. Magic's extremely strong in this game, but early on it's going to be very slow to cast, and most enemies will move out the way. You're going to want to make sure that you're using the side menu whenever you're casting an ability to see what turn this move will land and determine whether or not this is the opportune time for you to use it. There's very good skills to use here, man. This game now alerts you as well when new items are available in shops and new rumors are available at taverns. So make sure you guys are always checking those. You can use the outfitter as well to automatically equip the best gear to your team before buying it. But I found oftentimes this wasn't the best for every situation. Like sometimes I needed my mage to have more MP, but it kept recommending me armor with the same defensive stat, but less MP. So I think while you can use the auto equip, it's always best to manually check individually which is best for your character that you can currently equip and if this is even worth it. And one of the best things about this game is the way random encounters work. Now you can actually start them however you want. See how I'm standing over Zeklau's Desert? If I click on it again, it's actually going to bring up the prompt if I want to fight or flee. Also, when you're roaming around, in the previous game, you would run into random encounters like that. So this is really great, especially if you don't want to fight, you don't have to, you can just flee. I love these changes, man. This is a great quality of life adjustment. Tactics is one of the best tactical RPGs of all time, because not only is the story pretty fucking amazing and really well done, it's one of the deepest game mechanics ever made in an RPG. Every character can be whatever job you want them to be, and there's no one true way to do anything in this game. There's so much you can mix and match and do, and I can't recommend this game enough to any RPG fan that either loves or hates tactics games, because I'll be real with you, I didn't like tactical games myself, but when I first played this and finally learned how it worked, I got hooked. Not to mention, Cloud Strife is obtainable in this game and has been since 1997 when this game came out. And while he's pretty bad in this game, you can still do some pretty fun stuff with him. And it's awesome to hear Cody Christian's voice as Cloud in battles. Cloud Strife also comes in this game with the Materia Blade, so you don't need to go and find it. But if you do go and you find it, you can find the Materia Blade Plus, and that means he can dual wield both of them. And I think we might be able to make his limit break skills even better this way. So whether you're a newcomer or a longtime fan, I want to hear from you guys down below. Which job class and combinations are your favorites? Sound off, let's get a discussion going. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More Final Fantasy Tactics videos are on the way and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ and thanks for watching.